It's alright, Parker. It was just a dream.
Yeah.
But still, it wouldn't hurt to check on May and Captain Stacy tomorrow.
See, I did Captain Stacy.
I have to
Those are
get Brock
Captain
out of my
Stacy.
head. I can't let him win that battle.
I can't get him out of my head. Let me just adjust.
Oh, just fine, Peter.
See, it sounds like
Making plans for Thanksgiving.
she's gonna do the lines correctly, but then it just doesn't sound all that great.
Mary Jane's Anna has been here a couple of times.
I was gonna mention Nathan, who was some guy she ended up seeing a bit in the Spider-Man comic books around the 80s. He's in a wheelchair, and he can fend for himself. So that's like,
Yeah. Wait.
and what?
What?
He can fend for himself. Like he gets attacked by these thugs,
Oh,
and he
okay.
takes out a shiv or whatever, and he just cuts them.
Why does he have a shiv?
Or a knife. I don't remember. I only read this thing once a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Um.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's why you don't put down horses just because they have broken legs.
Yeah, and he's possibly given his thing to your aunt there, Petey. His non-working old wrinkly limp thing to your
His...
limp noodle to your aunt's. Oh god.
No, he's probably doing it with the shiv, dude.
I'm sorry, I can't do this. That's why I avoided this because.
Right.
Where do you want to have Thanksgiving, Peter?
Dude, if your mom listens to this, she's gonna be mad at you.
No, she doesn't listen to the second channel.
How about Norman Osborn's?
I must say though, Aunt May is a striking Lego.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't mind
actually
being her man in a wheelchair.
I actually used Lego Hermione's face for
Oh,
it.
that explains.
But like the face looks a bit wrinkled around the mouth. So I'm like, it looks kind of old. I don't have an old lady face. I'll just use that.
Oh, you definitely sell it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's technically young Emma Watson. But the young Emma Watson Lego looks older than the new version of Emma Watson's Hermione Lego face.
Which I mean that kind of makes sense. You look at like young Emma Watson; she looks, you know, like complete dweeb.
You only say that 'cause she's underage. You want to be careful.
The turkey on the table. Did you just like bend tinfoil into the shape of a turkey, or
No, I had a Lego turkey leg, and I put tinfoil around that.
Okay,
I suppose I could have made it into a shape, but I don't know.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I have some of my subscribers do the voices of the characters here. I'll make a comment at the end of this video because I'm sorry, I completely forgot who played who. I actually got their lines mixed up, and one person said the other person's lines, and they both said the same lines. It was the first time I ever held auditions like this, so it got kind of mixed up. I apologize if I made you guys. I already apologized like a year ago, so I'm gonna apologize again. I'm sorry I made you do extra work. That was not my intention to screw around with you guys. I'm sorry.
So there must be some reason why you have
And here comes this part. The first part I get really political in the video.
I'm retired.
Before shit hits the fan at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Any precinct in the city. Policy? Nope. Same policy as before. It's just being enforced now.
So he's not allowed to go near the police station.
They fired you because you trusted me. No. I played my retirement weeks ago. Some officers weren't happy with my past decisions, but I didn't think really gave them a decent argument against me. I cannot apologize enough for that. I hurt more people than I was supposed to protect, and the one person I was supposed to protect died in the process.
Roderick Kingsley.
You know, I'm starting to think that I am a menace. Okay, Spidey, I know you have one hell of a guilt complex, so I'll just say this. Okay, yes, crashing that aircraft in the middle of a city wasn't the safest thing to do, but you saved all those people.
They invite a church choir upstairs?
You put them on the edge just so you can get them back to safety.
Yeah, go.
Roderick Kingsley's family lost me. All those people you saved, they can return to their families and their loved ones. Trust me, Spidey, I should know more than anyone. But you can't save everyone.
Little foreshadowing to the not being able to save everyone bit. Because he can't save everyone. I mean, he saves everyone in that building except Gwen. So, and him. That's funny. He's one of the people he can't save. So,
Still have a city to rebuild from.
yeah.
There's a lot of meaning to this dialogue.
And I'm unintentionally taking the piss out of Man of Steel. This is before I saw Man of Steel. I believe this is before Man of Steel even came out. Because, like, hey, we still have a city to rebuild from. The damage isn't that bad. Man of Steel, they just sort of...
Got one of the engines, so I told the pilot to jump out.
Yeah.
One of my webs.
Yeah.
So the one person
I didn't do it on purpose, but it's funny how everything just sort of falls into place like that, you know?
But someone who has no training with any sort of aircraft is now piloting it. Well, I didn't think he could withstand the impact. I mean, I know. I crashed the thing and then it nearly killed me. Maybe because you weren't specially trained to crash land the thing and the other guy was. Well, what about the other people in the street? George, are you on my side or not?
Stop pointing out plot holes, George. God damn it.
It's okay. Okay, then let me ask you something. Why did you retire? Come on.
George Stacy's figurine kind of looks like George Lucas.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I feel like when he calls him George, he's,
Yeah, it really does.
Too old for this job. And there's more
especially with the flannel shirt.
Yeah, oh my god. That was unintentional.
Go on, spill.
I kind of messed up the set back there because you can kind of still see the bottom of the shopping emporium building when I should have taken that section off and just used the upper two sections so it looked like they were higher up in the air.
Couple of kids, teenagers, adults.
It is cool though how you've made a complete set back there. Actually, built the buildings surrounding them. It's really
And I had to make it look like the sun's actually shining on them so it looks really bright in
yeah.
the shopping emporium. The story he's telling, it makes it seem like those kids and everyone's gonna start dying, but it goes into a direction you don't expect it. And it's basically like he feels like this distrust amongst them, the people he's supposed to protect, and him, the protector, because I don't know, police officers kind of have this reputation of being a bit over forceful with their trying to walk around this fucking issue. So he kind of goes into like crime statistics and everything, and that's debatable. People go back and forth on that kind of thing. That's not what I'm trying to say, but it's look, when a character says something, it doesn't automatically mean that I completely agree with it or completely disagree with it just because he's the good guy. You know, the good guy can be very idealistic, but not really all that reasonable or insightful, or not even insightful. It's damn it, I hate talking about this part. I practiced this 1,000 times. Okay. Just because he's the good guy doesn't mean he's always right about everything, because he trusted Spider-Man and that blew up in his face. Literally blew up in his face the second time. So, you know, his trusting of other people that his fellow officers wouldn't necessarily trust led him to trust Spider-Man, right? Because he's technically a criminal. He climbing on buildings in and of itself is illegal. So that's what it led him to trust this guy here and see past him, because he wears a mask. Criminals wear masks to hide their faces. So his over trustworthiness has led to his relationship with Spider-Man, but it also led to his undoing. So it's not completely black and white here. Like Norman Osborn is his polar opposite, and his extreme views also led him to his death. So does that make any sense, Sam?
No, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too bogged down in politics, because I bring it up because it has some relevancy towards the character's actions and what he believes in.
Of course.
But
Throughout that whole ordeal,
oh god, how do
No,
I say this?
You're responsible for portraying a variety of characters.
Yeah.
And a complete character is complete with their own set of views, their philosophies, their own politics.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone assumes that those are necessarily expressions of your personal politics just because he's
Unsubscribe.
a moral character.
No,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think you're in the clear.
Yeah. The main point he's trying to make is that Spider-Man is not the kind of character who would hunt down people. That's more of a Batman or Punisher or even a Daredevil thing to sort of do. So you have these two different, even three different characters that pursue crime and go by their own philosophy in two different ways. And that reflects upon the characters. Spider-Man is not that kind of guy. Right? Batman is sort of that kind of guy. The Punisher even more so.
Sure.
And hey, they even exist in the same world, so maybe they're going to clash at some point. Right? Like they're two different. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
It's not Batman and Spider-Man, Punisher and Spider-Man.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do no.
Yeah.
Stop giving them that idea, Sam. Oh my god, he's doing Batman.
You should. I mean, like, you could.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. Hey, it's that same Black Doctor.
Chris Warney was just
Did you see that guy disappear? I think I saw him disappear. The redheaded boy disappeared, man. Maybe he had to go get some help. This is another scene I had to refilm from watching the older videos. Like, that's the same Legos that were in the first episode. But you know, the camera looks more high quality than the camera I used back then.
Sure.
Even with all the special effects on here, it still looks like everything else on the episode.
Well, you're persistent.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out here. Whatever.
You're right.
Man, that smile is really creepy.
Yeah.
I trusted him. I let him in my home. Around my son.
So he basically put two and two together when he saw him with the spider. He's like, oh, okay. He's probably Spider-Man.
Right.
That security footage has been sitting there for years, and no one is found out about it.
Mutated version of what I already had. It was an older version. The same ones that were tested on numerous animals, including chimps, mice, and spiders. I knew for the longest time whoever Spider-Man was.
So now Norman Osborn knows who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
One might imagine we put it down around Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
I considered him a bigger threat.
That's why he focused all his efforts on Roderick Kingsley. Because he knew he had some internal troubles. You know, because someone's messing with his formula. But this guy is actually using my weapons, and he's, like, blowing shit up. I have to deal with this now.
Right.
So that's why he dealt with, you know, him. And it's funny, because Peter Parker was already masked on camera in Wilson Fisk's office. But no one knew who this kid was. Like, Electro unmasked him. He's like, who the fuck is this guy? Whatever. Bye! He throws him out a window, like in Ultimate Spider-Man. And I thought that was such a cool idea, you know? If you unmask Spider-Man, no one's going to know who the hell he is.
Right. Nobody cared about Peter Parker
Until he put on a mask. Oh, my God.
Sure.
All right. Before we go any further, I want to get on a level of trust here. I'll trade you my secrets
So they
for Parker's.
make a pact here. Kind of like a suicide pact, almost.
Oh, and your plan
I am Captain Kirk.
is ambitious, but this you will not lose hope that easily. In order for your plan to work, he has to cross the line. He has to kill someone. Witnesses see Spider-Man commit murder right in front of them.
Testing.
Lose faith in him. His
Testing.
reputation has been relatively well lately, but
Okay.
the audience is a fickle bunch. With those two factors,
The audience is a fickle bunch.
has been mentioned.
Get that from
More than likely to the
Metalocalypse.
point specially armed troops or upgrade the police force's technology. In
Martial
some of the
law.
military contracts I signed, I gave him permission to use my technology if such a scenario were to take place.
Ooh.
By then, I'll have all the money I need. Go somewhere warm and sunny. A new start.
You never got to do
Until you
this.
start to see
It's cool, too, that here they're planning, you know, they realize they can't just break Peter
theory.
physically. They have to break him mentally.
But
Yeah.
for that to happen, we need
It's,
someone for Spider-Man to kill. And I
a higher level of warfare.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
They need an exit strategy, and
drugs I injected into myself.
whenever, like, I always wonder what the Green Goblin's exit strategy was for in this first Spider-Man movie, because it just seems to be doing things. I don't know, like, where he thinks, okay, time to put up the Green Goblin suit and everything. Everything's working. I don't know. They just never specified it that well.
Yeah.
A lot of eyes and a lot of cameras that will more than likely capture Spider-Man murdering me. We're gonna need pumpkin bombs.
Lots and lots of pumpkin bombs and explosions. Is the big stuff's gonna blow up finally? Yes. Yes, little person. Stuff is finally gonna blow up.
Some of them by sensors. Stealth is your strongest suit. You broke into this building twice without me knowing. There's a lot of cameras there, but I know you can get past them until the time is right. You'll be the one who'll plant the bombs in specific places, alright? Also, you have to block the maintenance elevator that runs all the way to the top of the E1 News building.
He has a lot of schematics of certain buildings. Because he did in episode 21, I think, Ultimatum, he had a map of New York City, a digital map. So I think one can assume, like, he has, like, the schematics to this. I mean, it doesn't make much sense, but at least I established it beforehand.
And he's a
Couple of
powerful guy. It's not hard to believe that he could get the blueprints or, or whatever, yeah.
He's a powerful guy for you.
I quite like the idea of
He's got money and shit.
double for me to go after, but it didn't really work in his favor all that well. So we'll need a genuine double. And I think I know the perfect person to be my double. Hello, Mr. Osborn, it's me, Weaver.
Oh,
Here's
no.
my, resignation letter. Hello?
Oh no.
See, the thing is, you don't actually see him stab him, if he even did stab him. He just sort of, like,
Gives him a haircut.
yeah.
After that, I'll inject a more substantial amount of the autopsy results will show that he has more in it than me. So this double will go down as the Green Goblin, and not me. The Osborn name will live on, while Parker's will live in infamy. Now there's just one last thing I need to do. I need to push him over the edge. I need to do something to him that makes him so emotionally distraught that he would actually commit murder. Now you apparently know all of his secrets. A lot more than I knew. So please tell me, Eddie. Do you know anything that will push him over the edge? Anything?
Nope. Sorry. I got nothing. I can't think of anything.
You have a beautiful home, Mr. Osborn.
Huh?
Food looks delicious.
Peter, are you alright? You seem so...
I don't know. What do you think of the set here? I think it's kind of,
I like it.
Oh, that's good.
It looks, I mean,
Peter, we're
it looks very Norman Osborn.
I guess.
I mean, if I were to imagine Norman Osborn's dining room, that's probably what I would picture.
I tried to make it look menacing, but I just,
Hey, you got those big candles in the middle? That works.
I set someone on fire.
High pillars.
You're so funny, MJ. God, I hate this bitch so much.
time to eat. Okay, now everyone bow your heads. Well, I'm not really sure I'm comfortable with that.
Oh, no.
Oh boy, here we go. Well, not everyone here believes in the power of saying grace. I don't think it's fair to impose such a ritual. No.
Ooh, ritual. That's very derogatory because it's just like, hey, hi, hey, hi, That's a ritual. That's something that those older people 1,000 years back did, you know?
No, it's
That's
not.
really insulting, actually.
I didn't mean to superimpose.
Yes, you did, May. Stop lying.
Apology accepted. Now that's it. So, Peter,
You know, it's kind of make everything so awkward.
Yeah, it is. You hear that sound? There was a sound effect that was basically just people eating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear the fork hitting the plate. It costs like $4 or something. I'm just like, no, why would I pay $4 for? Fuck it. Fuck, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
Why? So I just took a plate and I took a fork and I'm just like tapping it right in front of the microphone. So that's the sound you're hearing right now.
It works perfectly.
And you don't really see anyone eating anything.
So you know what you got to do is turn around and sell that recording you made for $3, right?
No.
That's capitalism.
It's
Oh, yes, that is correct. I have enough money saved up. I'll be just fine. Oh, hey, Mr. Stacy, what was like the most dangerous situation you've ever been in?
It's an interesting question.
yes. It is.
Oh, let me think. I think that would definitely be my encounter with the Green Goblin.
I don't know if this conversation is appropriate for the occasion.
Such a killjoy. Yeah. Buzz Killington over here.
Lies to
Back in the 1930s, you can buy bread for a nickel. In fact, you can buy a comic book with a nickel. Oh, mate, don't talk about comic books now. Don't. What about your comic books, Peter? Don't bring that up. Stop. I believe the character's name was
thought the Green Goblin.
Batman? No, oh, god damn it. Now he's established that he exists. Good job, Mom. Or Aunt May. Fuck.
It's just bounced right off his arm. I've never seen anything like that.
Um,
I was actually there.
for some of these shots, I used an older model of the camera I'm currently using.
So, Mr. Osborn,
A Canon Rebel for this.
your weapons.
You can tell because the aspect ratio is a bit larger and the definition is clearer for those shots. But when it's like the black bars on the side of the screen get much thicker, that's when I'm using my Canon Power Shot.
Civilians.
There's a widescreen setting I didn't even find out until later into this filming of the episode. I'm just like, god damn it.
Curious. Oh, what were you asking of me? Was it massive?
And the animation is better because the camera is better. I always wanted to have some back and forth between George Stacy and Norman Osborn because they're so diametrically opposed to each other.
Yeah.
Defenses that if it were used against us, we would have no means of fighting back. I think it's an important lesson for my daughter or Peter to learn if either of them were to go into such a field of science once they graduate. No, Mr. Stacy, I did not account for any of that. Really? Not once. Are you actually implying if such a rogue thought entered my mind, that I would have to turn back the dial on progress? Like, for example, nanorobotics. Should I turn back the dial on that?
See, it cuts to Peter because he used the nanites to heal his Aunt May, and then did a part 3.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they're still inside her or if they died or if they just break down and
I'm not saying I
That was his fantasy. Or they broke down in her stool or something. I don't know.
In her stool?
Yeah, her stool. So she pooped it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Could come back. Right?
We might bring the nanites back. I don't know. They mentioned Bernard the butler. Remember Bernard from the Spider-Man movies? Your father loved you, Harry. I took a grenade to the face. So Bernard isn't his presence is implied, but he's not here.
Right.
He's not here, guys. He's not going to do this stupid thing he did in Spider-Man 3. He took the night off, so he's not here.
He's gonna be, right?
No,
He's pretty essential, I think.
no, he's not. He's not here this night that he died. He's not. I just wanted to make that really clear, guys.
Yes, when it's about you, everyone just takes your side.
I'm gonna put myself out there and say I kind of agree with Norman.
With what?
With Norman. In this debate with you can't stop the technology from advancing for the sake of safety or peace.
We've
of mind.
gone too far. We've playing God. The end.
We need all that.
Sometimes enemies are always going to be on the other side of the planet. It could be somewhere else.
Ooh.
Somewhere a lot closer.
Right there.
Closer to the ones that you
It's
care
right there.
about. I mean, for all we know, the enemy could be in this very room, right now. Who do you think is the real hero here, Mr. Stacy?
That's a good question,
You or
actually.
me?
Because there's 3 people in here who might see themselves as heroes.
George Stacy.
Except George Stacy. He
Yeah.
definitely said he is not a hero.
Yeah.
Mr. Osborn. Is that what you tell yourself?
Dad!
Mr. Stacy, wait. Dad, wait. Geez, I hope they don't act this way during Christmas.
Don't worry, Peter. They won't. They'll act like this.
I'm going to get Mr. Stacy back here. Good luck to anyone who wants to go into the lion's
That's
den.
good.
That's my dead person impression.
Thanksgiving was the best idea. No, Thanksgiving was a great idea. It's always great to be thankful for something, but we turned into a damn competition. So about that Lions thing. aren't
Yeah, don't you like the new camera? Much
Oh yeah, I
better.
see what you're talking.
Yeah.
This is the power shot then?
Ye-
No, thank you, Pete. Look, you
It's a
want me to
Rebel.
go in there?
Oh, this is
Power
the
Shot
shit.
is the older, the Rebel is the newer one.
Okay.
Someone like you.
Which is funny because the model Rebel I used for this episode is actually older than the Power Shot that I used for like the last
On his face, the last face
10
he wants to see.
episodes of this show. So
Okay, fine, Harry. I'll be the brave one. I'll go into the Lions Den. Wish me luck. I'm questioning whether or not I want him back in here.
don't worry, Harry.
Mr. Osborn.
He won't.
Mr. Osborn. Huh. Nice office.
And you can kind of
That's
see
Mr.
me in the
Osborn's book
reflection.
right back in high school. Yeah, I remember now.
That was the
Well,
very first thing mentioned in the entire show was Peter doing research on Norman Osborn's nano robotic shit, right? And that comes up later in season 2, and it comes up later in season 3, and it's the reason how he discovered who Norman Osborn really is, because that book was there, and it's like I remember reading this book. What the fuck? So it's all connected. It's all connected.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Osborn's the green.
Always a little bit behind, Peter.
Yep. Duh. So, yeah, like that tracking shot. It's not technically a tracking shot because it's stop motion, so I don't know if it really counts as a tracking shot.
Oh.
You know what a tracking shot is?
It's like where you like go through the scene, right?
Yeah,
to
you don't know.
establish space.
Yeah, no cuts or anything.
Right.
But every single shot is technically a cut because it's one photo.
Right.
But technically, if you're using film, it's just a number of photos.
Yeah. But you actually do tracking shots in here sometimes, don't you? Where you like pan across the scene.
Yeah, it's technically a tracking shot. In like the most basic definition, I suppose.
Right.
Suited for Oscorp. I think Harry would do a better job at Oscorp than I. Well, what's wrong?
Why is there so much talking?
Seems a bit aggressive.
So boring. Oh, I want to see them fight. When are they gonna fight?
I know that's kind of the purpose of military-grade weapons, but wait a minute. When did you see the Great Goblin firsthand?
Duh, I don't know.
Both Unity Festival taking pictures. And I know those weapons are supposed to be used against the enemy, but people in this day and age have trouble identifying who the enemy actually is.
More politics. What do you think about that, Reggie?
That's a great question. Let's just talk about my family. They're a lovey-dovey bunch. Now, if they were to all die, that'd be terrible. That's it.
Are you saying that you're
God
afraid
bless
the
America,
government's going to
and
use
God
weapons
bless all
against
of
your
you.
family? Is that what you're implying?
Debate's over. I win.
Someone who has always
That resonated with me.
I have a family.
And I I live in this country, and I believe in an omnipresent being watching over us. Unsubscribe! Hey, shut up. Heathen.
Unlike those other people who fly around the city, claiming to protect and causing millions of dollars in property damage, putting other people's lives at risk for their thrill. At least the Green Goblin is honest about it. Is Spider being honest about it, or is he just lying to himself? Are you an expert on these matters, Mr. Osborn? Are you?
Dang it, he got me.
I'm just
See, they both know their secret, but neither of them knows that they know about their secret, and they're having this argument, and Peter wants to get out of it, but he can't. So there's like this tension in the air.
Harry doesn't need any.
Yeah, all this with Legos.
When
It's
given
impressive.
the
Yeah, I want you to look back
opportunity
to the past Spider-Man movies, and if you notice anything that comes close to the amount of tension
running an
involving character identities and
think he can do that?
everything, just let me know, okay? If they did anything in the last 10 years, that was...
I doubt it.
Okay.
What I told you. I apologize for it.
Jeez, I wonder how Aunt May convinced him to come back here and apologize. I've actually been gone for a little while, actually. That's probably nothing.
With Mr. Osborn and Peter.
That's a good question,
When I
too.
was a child, I admired my father.
Oh, now the villain's telling me about his dad.
He's monologuing.
He was not a failure. My father saw me as an extension of his
My father didn't like me. I feel sorry for me. You know,
Not because of his anger or anything, but because he was a failure. I could no longer depend on him. So I depended on myself.
I'm just reading aloud the Wikipedia article about Norman Osborn's past at this point.
I studied every night.
Really?
All
Yeah.
that hard work.
This is actually part of his past and everything.
Now you think about
I noticed this because other people started reading off his Wikipedia page
his whole
well, whenever they did their thing here.
was sadly mistaken. Not without me. Not without outside influence. I thought I could be a better father than mine by spoiling him, but that just wasn't the case. I made him soft,
Huh.
and he always will be soft.
Soft.
In order to run
It
Oscar,
worked out.
you have to. You need the will to make the rough decisions. You need to be dedicated to this company. That's the life I live, Peter. Harry doesn't live that life. That's why he can't handle Oscorp. Wow, I can't believe I'm actually hearing all this. I mean, I can't believe a lot of things right now, but wow. I can't believe I was actually jealous of Harry as a kid. He had both of his parents. He lived in a beautiful penthouse. I've come to terms
What happened to
with
Mrs.
loss of
Osborn?
parents.
Oh yeah, I didn't explain that. Divorce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she'll probably show up if I do some flashback of them reading off the will or something.
Sure.
Your father saw you as a failure. You saw your father as a failure, and now you see Harry as a failure. Where does it end? You have the same last name as Harry. That's all that matters.
Oh, I know where it
He
ends
is in control of
tonight.
your legacy. He's a failure, and so
Except not really.
so is your legacy.
Not really.
Spoiler.
That's what you
Oh,
care
kind
about.
of. I
Because
mean, well, his
I mean-
daddy's.
well, yeah, but
He could
hangs
have a
around in
son.
Memory,
I didn't think I was
manipulating Harry from the
ever gonna see
past.
you.
What?
Calling my
Kind of. I mean, not literally, but
Uh,
our fathers never really leave us.
yeah.
You know.
Like he's haunted by his father's decisions and
Right.
he has to.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe I'm the lucky one.
maybe he's not really dead.
Could be wrong, Harry.
Maybe
You're
he
not
actually
right.
comes back.
Dun.
Like he does in the comic books.
I
Because
hope
he.
so.
I hope not, because that's really fucking stupid, actually.
Only if he's a ghost.
Have your hair cut.
Ooh!
Green ghost goblin.
Ooh! Ooh! Dad, what are you doing? I'm a ghost. I'm the ghost of the green Dad. Dad. Hey, they're fighting! It only took us like 40 minutes, 50 minutes.
I gave them to you.
I actually like this fight a lot.
Yeah, it's just some really impressive animation. That web was cool.
Yeah. Maybe I should get rid of that web. Nah, I'll just leave it there.
Oh, I have
Oh, they're all just sitting eating. it's cool.
going to
It's a
show them how
good decision.
Yeah.
Going back and forth like that adds some comedic effect. Yeah,
There's that jazz music again.
it's good stuff.
Wow,
What
you
dance?
know, Rock was right. You really are a hypocrite.
Why is everyone calling me that? God, what did I do? You kill people. Shut up. God damn it.
You don't judge me.
Yeah. I like the shot setup here. I like the lighting and everything.
Yeah.
And the angles.
That is cool. Looking at Peter from below.
Whee!
Mr. Stacy.
See, Gwen expresses a lot of emotion without saying anything. And it's probably because the script is rushed and not thought out, and I didn't have anything for her to say.
I get the idea there. Just looking over at his chair.
Yeah.
Got that Mona Lisa smile on her face.
Yeah. I probably should have added some music here, because it's just sound effects.
It adds some suspense, though, not having music. So, I mean, it works
Control the
out.
fire alarm.
You can see George Stacy sort of taking charge here, because that's his job. What's the point of all those bloody push-ups if you can't lift a bloody log? See, this is where George Stacy was supposed to die in the original version of the script. Like, he gets Peter out, then the roof falls down, and he pushes him out of the way of the roof, and then he dies. Then after Peter saves Jameson, he just sort of starts crying because of, yeah, that just happened, oh my god. Yeah. Cause it kind of mimics how George Stacy died in the comic books, because he pushed a kid out of the way of something falling on him,
Right.
and then he was crushed to death.
Dies a hero. Makes sense. I guess he does anyway, though.
Yeah, I guess. He's not a hero, he's George Stacy.
He dies George Stacy.
He dies George Stacy. He died as he lived. Hey everyone, this is Dark Spidey TV or Dark Spidey 34, whatever. I'm pretty sure this is gonna go up on Dark Spidey TV. Anyway, in the video, I promised I would give a shout out to those who were in the voice or who did the voices, for the other characters, additional voices for this particular episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm sorry I didn't have the list with me. What I'm gonna do next time is I'm going to have flashcards ready. I mean, I have some sticky notes up on my shelf here, facing my desk, so I just look at those whenever I need to remember something. But those are just general rules of thumb type. That is the wrong operating internet service provider. No, that's the whatever. Oh my god, my computer's freezing up on me right now as I'm recording this, so I don't know how much of this is getting through. See, what I did is, see, the problem I'm having here is my Google account sends messages to me both via personal email and my quote professional email unquote. So, and I have trouble keeping track of it because I have probably 4 email accounts and I have to keep track of all of them. So what I've done is I've had it constantly opened, or at least autofill for one web browser, and another one for another web browser. So all I have to do is just go to one web browser and open it. I mean, that's probably wasting a lot of... There's probably something I'm doing wrong there, but whatever, I don't care. So I'm just gonna... because I haven't opened this email in like over a year, and I really want to give a shout out to you guys because I appreciate this. I really do. It may not seem like I do because I've been a bit of a flake lately, but I've gotten another job, so, and I don't really know if I can call this a job. I mean, I have been paid, but I do get paid, but I've been very busy, not lazy, busy. So what I'm gonna do here is just gonna read them out and tell them what part that they played, and just give a general thanks, and maybe at the end some sort of update about where the voices are going for episode 31. Jesus, 31 episodes. Okay, so I don't even know if I should say your... I'll just say your YouTube name. Where does this begin? Roy Genton. Am I saying that right? I just like to thank you. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you played what you like to call, or we agreed upon, asshole cop. Yes, as I mentioned in the commentary, I kind of tricked you, if that's okay. I do remember you. You do comment a number of times on my video. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all, and I appreciate that. You even comment on the commentaries, and not a lot of people do that because not a lot of people are subscribed to that channel, and that's fine. I mean, I've been debating in my head whether or not to put this up on my second channel, my main channel, because I particularly like this commentary. I've of course watched through it and everything and put it all together, and I really like this one. And I think it was because it was a long one and we had a lot of material to work with and a lot of stuff to discuss. I don't know. I did feel like I missed some stuff, and I kind of wished I focused on more technical things, like how I did that tracking shot with Venom crashing through the ceiling, because that was I actually looked at some of the behind the scenes pictures that I took, and I thought to myself, wow, I can't believe I actually did that. And that's actually a cool looking shot. And I got the term tracking shot mixed up. That was actually the Venom thing in the E1 newsroom crashing through. That was actually technically a tracking shot, not because it was a single shot, but because the camera was moving or something. It was a one take or something like that. I think that's the actual term. Anyway, I think that character might make a comeback. I don't know. But I could certainly use you and use your voice in the future. We'll get to that whole thing later. So thank you, Roy Jensen, if I'm pronouncing your username correctly. I appreciate it. Just sorry I haven't replied to anything. I'm actually quite a shy fellow, and because people who are shy in real life, they tend to be slightly more extroverted on the internet. Or at least that was my personal experience dealing with people. And that's not me. I'm a more or less a quiet person on my internet life or whatever, and in real life. So I don't know if I can see the distinction, or I see the distinction, or all terms of social interaction frightens me, and the only way I can do that if I force myself to make a video to communicate in a sort of out of sync kind of way with other people. No offense, but people scare me. Not in a way that I think I hate people, but generally I'm scared of people. So thank you, Roy. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I will definitely contact you if I'll get to that later. Moving on. And I'd also like to thank the voice actor for police officer number 3, whose line is, "What is that thing?" I believe he was the black-haired cop. That was police officer number 3. His YouTube channel's name, his username is Wipeout989. Thank you. It wasn't that much. Wasn't that many lines, and I think I accidentally had the same person playing. No, wait. No. I think I'm getting mixed up again. And anyway, I thank you. Appreciate it. It's not that much. It's really not that much. I'm being very liberal here with how many voices but I explained why. I think I already explained this, because even a small number of lines coming from a different mouth can add variety to this world, this Lego world of superheroes. So thank you for being that one little voice that diversifies the whole thing and makes this just a tiny bit more special. I'm really trying to make it sound like doing a tiny thing is so significant. But I genuinely think it does. If I sound like I'm some sort of sociopath using people, and I'm probably projecting, whatever. Thank you. I have a special little I'm going to go off the rails with every single person I list off. Seems that we're going out of order here. Moving on to police officer numero 2, whose username is... I do not think he sent me the username. But for confidentiality, I just use the first name. To be a little bit more conservative in regards to the identities of those who are sending me their voices. I like to just keep the first name, and I do that with even with people I know and are friends with in real life, like I've done with Sam and Michelle, for example. Justin, I don't know if you want me to say your full name. You played police officer number 2, and his lines were "Get down, open fire." Or grenade, and I took that line out because when I actually went back, I think it's something about me not being able to get a Lego grenade. I know they sell them, I just didn't get it in time on the day I was filming, and I didn't want to wait because I don't know. I remember I filmed this scene during Christmas break though, so I don't know what took me so long between September and December of 2012. I apologize, by the way, for taking that one line out. You didn't have that many to begin with, and I just took it away from you. And I believe you were the redheaded cop, who was joining the team that was gonna get the hostages out of the news building. Thank you once again. I'm sorry I cut the first part of your line. I think another part of it was I couldn't get it to work. Within what I actually, when things turn out differently when you actually go out and film the thing, which is why I like doing all the voices, so I can be flexible with my own changes and I don't kind of screw people over when I cut things. But I figure this kind of thing happens a lot in actual legitimate filmmaking and television production. Things are going to get cut, and if you are an extra or if you are some sort of peripheral character, you get on the chopping block. That's not even that. That's I think that goes for just anything and everything gets cut for whatever reason, and there you go. I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize. Moving on, Science Hall employee number 1. He was, I forgot which one. I forgot what he looked like, but his lines were, "Hello, Mr. Osborne, I haven't seen you here in a while." So I think he might have been the brown-haired minifigure, yeah, that he played. And the I'm going to have his YouTube username. Apparently he has a number of them, or maybe he changed it when the Google Plus thing happened, or whatever that thing is called. His YouTube username at the time, I believe, was Goop Loop Scoop. But now his Google name is, I don't know. Oh, he's putting it out there. I suppose it's no harm, no foul. I suppose, but if you search for him, I'm sure his name will come up. The names I just listed, probably not Goop Loop Scoop, but Spider Boy 2978, that will probably come up. You had pretty one of the most lines out of everyone else, and your voice sounds really good. I really liked it. It's good. It's good. Yeah. So I definitely, if you're still interested and I need a voice, I'll let you know. I like to think of those two guys as they're just always working there. They've worked there ever since, and no one goes in there. And the Science Hall, if you don't know, is a reference to the to that one comic book. What was it called? Amazing Fantasy Number whatever, where that spider guy appeared. Because that's where that's where Peter was bitten by the beetle or whatever that gave him his bug powers. So that's a reference to that. It's probably a dated concept. The Science Hall come and look at the science hall. Look at the radiation. Look at this. You can touch it and it makes your hair stand on end. Woo, science. Especially in this day. Stop saying especially in this day and age. It's probably an outdated concept and the reference doesn't work. But I was 13 when I came up with it, and I still have to follow through with decisions I made when I was 13 years old, which is a bitch and a half. Especially when I had started plot threads, and then I grew up in like a year. That's what's difficult about. That's what's really weird, I should say, about working on a show since you were 14. It's not so much that you are an actor in a show; it's just you're writing it and everything. And if you have this idea of where it's going to go when you're 14 and you build this or you plant the seeds for that, and then it doesn't even take that much time, relatively speaking. It can just be 2 years, and then you find the concept stupid. Another 2 years, you find the concept. You find, you changed it when you were 16. 2 years later, you find that stupid, and you want to go in a different direction. So it's working. It's really, really difficult working with my past stupid younger self. And it's especially frustrating when you're still young and you're still stupid. And you won't grow out of this until you're hopefully in your late 20s. So that's what's... Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, Science Hall. That's... So yeah. That's what... I hope some of you who've been with me for a while are just realizing. And then when you go back and watch it, you feel so crappy about some of the stuff you put out on the internet, but then you find little things here and there that makes you go, oh, that's actually kind of cool. I didn't know I had the intelligence to come up with that. Or maybe that's just me. Moving on. We're moving on now to Science Hall employee number 2. And this is where I got the mix-up, I believe, because I highlighted both Science Hall number 1 and number 2 for the final lines in the scene. Well, Norman Osborn had the final line, and it was "thank you," but I felt like that was out of character. So, see, I cut my own line, so I got rid of that too. His name is Phil, because he's spoken to as Phil. So I wanted to say this is Phil because his name is Phil, because I've established it. By Logan, his YouTube username is I hope I'm saying this right. King Bat. I don't know if you're still on YouTube. You sounded really excited. I should probably still know if you're on YouTube. The line is his only line. Is here's a copy of the footage. All 24 hours. A lot of news corporations really wanted this footage. They were going to broadcast all over the news, but they couldn't because they didn't know whether Octavius was alive or not. Man, that just opens up a whole lot of plot holes, doesn't it? So and I highlighted it in red, and accidentally highlighted Science Hall employee number 1. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the mix-up. And I believe I think that's everyone. So I think that's I hope I didn't miss anyone. That's okay. That's it. I've gone through all the voices. I'm sorry. This acknowledgement. I really should have made this type of acknowledgement a longer time ago. And during the ending credits, I should really specify who played who. But the problem with that is I avoided this for a long time because I play a lot of the voices, and that's just me going through all the characters and listing all the characters that I played, and actually going to have to label each of the characters that I play. So I did that not to piss off anyone. I just did that because I know I'm going to have to write down a lot of stuff for myself, so I didn't give anything to anybody. And I included the username. If I had it down anywhere, I included the username in the ending credits. Once again, thank you all for participating and diversifying the sound and the voice of the narrative for which I have woven. Thank you very much. Future episodes for voice auditions. I don't know, because I'm scared that I might like break my internet email with the audition, so I might just pick and choose, but of course that'll just leave people out of the loop. But that's going to leave people out of the loop, talented or no, whether or not they get the video or not, and my upload schedule is very much sporadic and inconsistent, so it's going to be a tough choice. Because, and here's another thing, I'm looking at this I looked over the script a number of times, and there's just not that many open positions, and that wasn't I didn't do that on purpose or anything. I do it as much as on purpose as I do anything, but I didn't have any negative intentions to do so. I feel like I've overloaded work on another voice actor, Michelle. I feel like I've given her a lot of lines, because she's playing 4 or 5 characters in this episode, and it's a lot of work for her. And I feel kind of crappy for doing that. I might add on another different female voice actor, not out of laziness, just to see if I can. So it's not about me trying to exclude anyone. I just looked at the script, and but there is some back and forth with major characters, and then it's not just peripheral characters talking to peripheral characters. They actually interact with the main character, and maybe hopefully that's going to be fun. And as me and Sam talked about, it would be better if we were in the same room while we're doing the voices, so we can act off each other. And it would be difficult for me to act off of someone else who recorded the lines a couple days ago in a different room with totally different ideas of how the scene is going to look, and I have to act against that, and I have to edit around that, and I have to animate around that. And it can sometimes be a mismatch, but I don't think I have had any. I'm sure someone with a lot more brains than me will tell me I've mismatched it, but whatever. This is running kind of long. Once again, thank you. I'll see what I can do for the next episode. There are just not that many positions open. In episode in C part 2, there was 6 openings. There's a lot of openings. And in Re 1, there's gonna be, I don't even remember, probably 2 or 3. Yeah, there's just not that many. And it's one of those things where I could have this person voice this voice, but I already voiced that voice, and it's going to sound weird now, because it's a very specific voice, and now I can't do anything there. So there. Sorry. Anyway, that's this commentary. I still don't know whether I'm not going to put this on Dark Spidey TV or Dark Spidey 34, because if I upload it to Dark Spidey TV, I feel like I'm giving the middle finger to the people who are subscribed to that channel, because they went the extra mile and subscribed to my second channel. But I feel like I'm excluding everyone else who subscribed to my main channel, which is a great deal more number of people. But do you guys even really care? I'm not going to even know. It'll be too late. The only way I can know is if I upload it. You know what? I'm giving a special shout out to you guys. Appreciate that. I'm specifically naming people off and telling them one by one, thank you for doing this. If I exclude those who are subscribed to my second channel that no one has paid attention to, even though they're both the same exact age, give or take a couple of months, well then, I'm actually giving the middle finger to those who are upset. You can't see it though. I'm doing it right into the microphone or into the computer or into the both one finger for each object for which I'm pointing to, because both serves as a means of conveying this message.